So here's a little review of my little universal tool and cutter grinder. I picked this guy up off Facebook Marketplace a couple years back for, I think I paid like 200 bucks, and it was just sitting in the corner of some guy's shop and he never used it, so I just got a decent deal on it. I think I think these are a Chicom copy of a Chevalier grinder, and they are a really common design. I think this is basically the same or a really super similar grinder to what Stefan Goeteswinter has. So when I got this, it was just a lot of really bad design flaws on it that I tried to address, some of them. So some of the main things I did with it was the table had a big bow. I scraped that dead flat on my surface plate. I scraped all of the linear rail bed, actually it all of the roller rail beds. I scraped all those flat. I scraped the dovetail ways here. I scraped both of those flat. So it's actually really accurate. It's within flatness. It's within I think about a 10,000th or so of flatness. So it's pretty decent. Anyway, so some other design flaws that this guy had. It has, well, right now I replaced the ball rollers with cross rollers. So that gives you, instead of a 2-point contact, it gives you a line contact. So that makes a table a lot more rigid. The ball races were destroyed when I first got it because I guess the factory literally neglected to put bump stops in it. So I designed some bump stops. I don't know how well you can see these, but these are actually these are hood stops out of a Ford Ranger that are threaded onto this a 1/4-inch steel plate that is bolted there on the end, and then that gives a nice solid positive bump stop there on the ends. Okay, so stripped the cheesy paint off, repainted it. Oh, I glued on a piece of steel plate here. This was, again, Stefan Goeteswinter's idea. So this gives you a nice little flat plate to mount a dial indicator, or, yeah, a magnetic indicator when you want to indicate something you're working on. Oh yeah, and it didn't have an oiling system on these are dovetail ways here. It didn't have any oiling system there, so I cut some oil grooves in there with a Dremel, and then I added a little oil system here, which is just filled with oil, and this is copper line that I soldered together, and that threads into the base, and then that oil drips into a pair of oil retention grooves that I cut into the base there with a Dremel. What else? Oh yeah, so this is the spin fixture that this came with. I designed this index plate to go on here. Forget how I did this. Yeah, oh yeah, this is I think this is a steel plate that I heat shrunk onto the neck of the outer the OD of its spindle. So that's heat shrink that on there, and then I made this index plate that just bolts onto that mounting plate, and that has this little pin that catches that. So this is great if you're doing drills, mills, things that have to be at a different angle. So I've really only used this a lot for grinding drills, and I've done a little bit of cylindrical grinding with it, where I mounted this in a horizontal direction. It actually works pretty well for doing light OD cylinder grinding. Let's see. Oh yeah, the motor here, this guy tilts up and down, looks like 45 degrees. This column here tilts by 90 degrees. So I'm not sure how they expected you to do drill grinding on this, because I had to make this little plate to mount the spin fixture so I could sharpen drills. I'm assuming that from the factory they wanted you to rotate the column 90 and then flip the motor around so that you feed in from this side or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, this works reasonably well like that. Yeah, it's I mean, you know, I didn't pay a lot for it. Unfortunately, I have a lot of time into fixing all of the factory issues with it. Oh yeah, one of the things I really hoped to be able to do is some light surface grinding, but unfortunately I found out that the motor housing here is right around 6 inches, so I can't really fit a 6-inch wheel without it bumping into there, which is not great. So I don't know. I think what I probably will do eventually, if I get motivated, is replace this motor with a spindle. I actually do have a spindle to go here, and then mount a motor with a pulley offset so I can drive it with a smaller diameter spindle, so I can actually do some light surface grinding. So effectively make it like the Milwaukee Delta surface grinders. So yeah, that's basically enough rambling on this thing. You know, it works pretty well it works great for grinding bits and cutters and stuff. So maybe one day I'll get around to making that a spindle so I can do some surface grinding. But if you guys have any questions, let me know and I can post some more details. So thanks for listening to me ramble.